Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Roush, and welcome to week 4 of the Pokemon Speedruns Draft League. So before we start getting into my team, or my opponent's team, let's go ahead and take a look at the standings. So as you can see, we are still on top as of week 3. Gino and Shape have already played their week 4 matches. Don't worry about them. That's why everybody else's name is highlighted. Something else to note, alongside obviously our team MVP is Swampert, we're also in the lead with 59 points under team score. And what it is, it's a little algorithm I created that kind of bases how offensive your team is in getting its kills. So it rewards the more offensive teams rather than the passive ones. And of course it factors in kills and deaths. So our team MVP is Swampert. We are on top with that plus 14 differential. Second is Garfield the Lightning, who we don't play for a while, I don't think. But yeah, regardless, this week our matchup is going to be against the Broward Brelooms, excuse me, down there at 9th place and Coach Rowe. But before we take a look at his team, I want to take a look at my team right quick. So here we go. I am Z Huntsville Heatran, and that is out of focus. Why you do this every time? Every time I move off. See, I did that. There. Focus. Dang you. Alright, so this is my team. So as you can see, we have pretty decent ranks for all of our mons. We have Swampert is 11th place on the MVP. So we don't have any real standouts in terms of the MVP race, but we got a bunch of pokes right around the middle. As you can see, everybody who's played is in top 50 except for Mamoswine, and that's because Mamoswine only came in week 1 and it didn't even see any action. So yeah, it's pretty good. That's our team for this week. As you can see, we faced Jimbooba and Jigglypuffs last week, who were actually ranked second rank. But of course you saw that in the video. So anyway, that's my team, just a little recap. Let's move on to Rowe's team. So this is Coach Rowe and his team. Interesting. Is that how it worked, huh? So Tapu-Koko, Hawlucha, Donphan, Chestnut, Linoon, Cryogonal, Mega Abomasnow, Mew, Alolan Persian, Volcanion, and Bronzong is his team, and I am absolutely scared of it. It's really hard to prep for because he's got a really, really nice offensive core in the form of Hawlucha. He's got a really nice tie-in with Mew because it can do a whole bunch of things. Alolan Persian's great for getting momentum. Volcanion is a brilliant wall breaker. Bronzong, but Bronzong and Abomasnow form a nice little trick room core. Alongside Donphan. Donphan is underrated offensively. It's got a decent enough move pool, and Stab Earthquake is nothing to cry about, especially coming off a 120 base attack. So, looking at his team and comparing it to my team, I am threatened by it tremendously. But what I expect to be brought is Tapu-Koko, Hawlucha, Donphan, or Chestnut, if not both of them. Donphan is his best form of hazard removal. His only other form is Cryogonal, which is terrible, especially versus my team, because it loses to Fortress, it loses to, it loses to Mamoswine too. But it also loses to Arcanine. It doesn't really have much that it can do to those, so I don't predict Cryogonal to come. I don't predict Mew to have Defog. If he brings Mew, which, honestly, I almost don't see Mew coming, because I have that Mega Beedrill, and I also have Hydreigon, both of which just tear straight through Mew. So I don't even predict Mew to come. I predict the Volcanion to come. Volcanion has a tremendous matchup versus my team. Water, I'm kind of weak to Water in terms of defense. I don't really have much for it. I have the Virizion, but it loses to fire. So I'm actually predicting Volcanion to be an Assault Vest variant with max HP, max special attack. I predict Bronzong. I'm scared of Bronzong because I feel that he thinks Trick Room would be a tremendous option versus me. So he could bring like Trick Room Bronzong with a minus speed Volcanion and go min speed with the Assault Vest and start ripping through my team. But I do have a couple of safeguards against that. Let's see. I also predict, I said Donphan or Chestnut. I'm leaning more towards Donphan, but my team, well, my team's not necessarily weak to Chestnut. My team can actually do well versus it. So I don't really predict Chestnut. So I'm thinking Tapu-Koko, Hawlucha, Donphan, Volcanion, Bronzong, and I really am thinking either, actually I'm thinking Alolan Persian is going to be his last one. And that just deals really well with my team. But I think I have a great team to deal with everything that he could bring. Let's go ahead and take a look at what I will be bringing. So, first mon that we're going to be bringing is Toby, the Arcanine. Expert belted this week because I don't want any extra recoil that I don't need, especially because I'm still on the fence about this last move. Right now it's Thunderfang, but it could also go with Wild Charge. I actually learned something interesting today. I completely forgot about Electric Terrain as I was building, and all of a sudden Wild Charge becomes so much better with that with Electric Terrain up, because it can one-hit KO non-HP variants of Volcanion. Just no bulk Volcanion, straight out OHKO it. But Thunderfang still one-hit KOs after Stealth Rocks to the same set, and it does about 50% to max HP variant. Flame Charge is there with my speed investment, so I can actually outspeed max speed Koko, and then Flame Charge into Flare Blitz 1-hit KOs. I think Flare Blitz might 1-hit KO. I might double check that calc. But Flare Blitz is mainly there for the likes of Bronzong, for the Chestnut, to deal the most consistent damage all across, and 10% burn is always a nice thing. Crunch is there because it does the most to Bronzong if he is, what's it called? Heat Proof. Also, just is a nice coverage move in general. Didn't really have anything else that I needed out of it. And then, of course, Thunderfang is for Volcanion, and Volcanion alone. That's the big key. Crunch actually does nice damage to Mew. I think it 2-hit KOs max HP Mew, something like that. Like a Spadef Mew, it 2-hit KOs. So that's going to be Arcanine this week. Adamant with enough speed to outspeed Koko when Arcanine is at +1. Second mon that I'm going to be bringing is, once again, Yu. Yu has been brought so far to every match. It's really good. I actually love it. It's one of my favorite mons of all time, and I'll say it at least 3 more times throughout the course of this season. Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Scald, and Roar. We have a huge amount of physical defense. So we are rocking this physical defense with the Ipapa Berry. So the Ipapa Berry releases when I get to below 25% of my health, and it gives back 50% of my HP. So this mon is designed to cripple Hawlucha. Cripple it. So it sets up Stealth Rocks, Earthquakes, stuff like Volcanion on a switch in. It scalds to get burns, and it roars Hawlucha. So Hawlucha with the Electric Seed has the Unburden ability, which is what makes it so scary. So what this Swampert is designed to do is to take about 75 to 82% from a +2 Adamant High Jump Kick from a Hawlucha and roar it out, getting rid of its Electric Seed defense boost and getting rid of its Unburden boost. It loses Unburden once it switches out. So I'm going to force it out to make it lose its Unburden, because it's a huge detriment to my team for that thing to have a +1 defense, which is what the Electric Seed would do. And this HP is designed with that in mind, and it'll put me to the point where my Papa Berry activates. This also happens with 2 high jump kicks, or I think maybe 2 acrobatics, I'm not sure, maybe 2 acrobatics once Electric Seed gets released, of course. And it just cripples that, and then I want Stealth Rocks up. Next mon that I'm bringing this week is going to be Mammoth Jam. So like I said, Mammoth Swine doesn't really have a lot of action, but we're going to be bringing it this week. Choice Band, Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, Knockoff, and Earthquake. Knockoff is there just to knock off some items, like a Chestnut item, Mew's item. It also deals with, it deals like 60 to 70% from a max defense Bronzong, I think. Might have to double check that. And it's gonna deal massive damage to that because Bronzong is his best switch in from Amajam. So Knockoff kind of deals with that. As you can see, Adamant Nature with 240 speed is designed to outspeed a modest max speed Volcanion. I don't expect him to be timid if he does bring it, which I am expecting him to bring it. But Mammoth Swine is going to be there. Ice Shard on +1 defense Hawlucha does 60%. It's like 55 to 62%, I want to say. Something like that. So I just wanted as much power as possible. And it does 80% if Koko or if Hawlucha doesn't have its item. It does about 50% to Hawlucha. Just a whole bunch of things that Mammoth Swine just starts knocking in with Choice Band and Ice Shard. Icicle Crash is there for the walls like the Dawnfan and the Chestnut, and Earthquake is there for the Volcanion, and also nice consistent damage all around, deals a ton of damage to Mew. I think this also outspeeds Min Speed Mew, but I'll have to double check on that before I get into any trouble in the match. Next mon that we're bringing this week is going to be Spike. Spike is going to be your standard Volt Switcher of the week. So Volt Switch, slow Volt Switch, very important. This thing is slow. It's not slower than Bronzong. It's not slower than Abomasnow, but it's slow enough. Volt Switch, Spikes, Gyro Ball, and Rapid Spin. Spikes are going to be useful this week because outside of Cryogonal, which already takes 25% from Stealth Rocks, his only hazard clears get hit by Spikes. So if I get Stealth Rocks plus Spikes up, I'm already taking 18 and 19% off of Dawnfan, and I'm already taking 25% off of Mew, with 1 rock and 1 spike. So that's going to force them to hazard clear. And then I could get a Volt Switch off into either you or Mamajam, or Hard Switch to either one of those, or any of the other members of my team. Gyro Ball is there because it does the most damage to Hawlucha and to Tapu-Koko. And Rapid Spin is there to clear hazards for my own side, because I do have Toby who is weak to hazards with the Flare Blitz, so I gotta be very careful of that. And yeah, that's Spike this week. Rocky Helmet to get that extra chip damage, so I can use Fortress as a pivot to get some Rocky Helmet damage on Hawlucha. So with Stealth Rocks plus Rocky Helmet plus Volt Switch puts Hawlucha in range of Mamajam's Ice Shard, even with the Electric Seed boosted. So this is just another way for me to get around Hawlucha. Next mon that we're bringing this week is going to be the Wicker Man. X-Scissor, Poison Jab, Fell Stinger, and Agility with enough speed to outspeed Tapu-Koko. Now, just assume that this is 399 attack and 396 speed. Just assume that when it Mega Evolves that those are the stats, because that's the truth. X-Scissor, Poison Jab do neutral damage to everything on Ro's team. So it's going to be really useful for just getting consistent damage all across the board, especially with that nice adaptability boost, getting 1.5 to 2 times boost. The only way that there is a move that does more than any of these to any mon on my opponent's team is Knockoff on Bronzong, and Knockoff on Bronzong just is more powerful for a single turn. Then after that, X-Scissor becomes more powerful. And Fell Stinger becomes almost as powerful. Fell Stinger is there just to get the attack boosts. Agility is there just in case Hawlucha hasn't activated its Electric Seed or whatever it is for its Unburden and wants to try and set up. I can Agility before it comes in if I can kill it. If I can't kill it, then there's no point. It's really just a filler move, to be honest. And I don't want to put Baton Pass on this again because I want my shiny Beedrill. Kind of a vanity thing at this point. And then, of course, outside of Tapu-Koko, all the rest of the investment just went into HP. Last mon is going to be the Pretty Petal Flower Shop. Florges, once again. So Florges and Swampert are brought 4 weeks out of 4. They're just really nice utilitarian. Florges has great defensive typing. They both do, to be honest. Wish Protect, Moonblast, Calm Mind. Moonblast is resisted by Bronzong, and I think it's his only fairy resist, if I'm remembering correctly. Volcanion. So Volcanion and Bronzong are his only fairy resists. So it provides awesome type coverage versus his team, neutral. Wish just gets HP back to anybody who needs it. Really helps Toby. Protect is there in case I need to A stall out Trick Room, or B, get my Wish back up to myself. And of course Calm Mind is there so I can better take on special hits and increase the chip on Moonblast a little bit, but mainly for boosting my special defense. That's the main thing that it does. So that's my team for this week. Once again, Expert Belt, Arcanine. I pop a Berry Swampert with the ability to phase. Choice Beta Mamoswine for that nice clean. Spike for the spikes clearing and Volt Switch. Beedrill, another cleaning option, mainly there for some nice breakage. And then Pretty Petal Flower Shop, Wish Protect for healing, and then Calm Mind Moonblast for nice chip. That's my team for this week. I'm sticking to it. Thank y'all so much for watching. Match goes up tomorrow. See ya then. Roush is out.